Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the SU-8. It's the Tier 6 Soviet SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Cliff, and it's under the command of StuInTokyo. And he's got the improved rammer, gun lane drive, and the rotation device as his equipment. Game on! Okay, it's a 152mm howitzer. It's capable of doing 550 alpha with 38mm per pen, 6.7 meters on the burst radius, between 6.5 and 11 seconds of stun. This is, other than the FP304, the fastest firing Arty at tier 6, or the fastest firing with stun, you might say. Okay, he's aiming, and he's aiming for the road leading up to the lighthouse. Now, you should know there's been quite a few changes since they've altered the maps, and there are a variety of routes up now, some of which are protected with those columns, but the Skoda's still going to have to go through the field of our fire. And yes, he does get hit, 225, and he took another hit afterwards, and we're picking up stun assist, and we've now got the communications expert working. Nippy little hull, which of course is the, or would have been, the, from a T-28, but of course they didn't exist by the time that they considered building. Oh, unfortunately we fired just a fraction of a second too late, and we didn't get any damage on that one. Looking over by the center, a CDT's appeared. And of course he's dueling with somebody else, and he's totally forgotten about the fact that there are Arty in the game. And so he's going to find out the hard way. 230 hit points. Now what does he do, or what should he do under those circumstances? Well, he should change his position to avoid repeat fire. Stu altered his position to avoid counter battery, but in doing so he's lost sight of the enemy and just gonna have to wait to reacquire. But you can see the CDT's not in sight, so maybe he did actually change position after all to avoid any further shots. You can see that there's a couple of enemy tanks have gone to the cliff, and that's probably the best thing for them, because of course now they can avoid being hit by Arty. Our T-3485 platoon mate is unfortunately going to be in a lot of trouble. That was a blind hit. He just got a blind hit on the CDT. Changing position again. Yes, it looks like the two tanks that we platooned with. And there goes the CDT. So we must have hit him pretty badly for him to be a one-shot. Yes, the other Arty on the other tanks on our platoon are a T-3485M, who's now very, very low on health. And of course an AT-8, who's still fairly healthy. We're firing at the sniper's nest. Oh, another blind hit. Yep, somebody up there just got hit. And according to the books, it could be a box tank, the SU-100Y, or even a Tiger 131. Now, what a Tiger 131's doing up there, I really do not know. But it's the wrong place for him. And he's just got hit again. You can see our Tiger 131 has gone around the center and is now engaging the enemy tanks that went around the cliff from behind. And so unfortunately we can't hit those tanks because they're just out of our gun sight. But he's firing another one in there, and he's just got another blind hit. So whoever's up there in the sniper's nest is getting pounded by Arty shells. And although our teammates can probably see them, or at least they're firing in to try and get shots in that direction, will he get another one? Yes, he does! So whoever's up there at this moment is really hurting, because he's been hit 4 times with blind shots. And at 550 alpha, even if none of them are penetrating shots, and we can see now it was in fact the Tiger 131, as our shell comes in, it looked like it set fire to the box tank, but the box tank eventually went down to the OI on our team. The enemy only has 3 tanks left, and this is a very fast game. Very well played, because he put those shells in, those blind shots, and they really were very effective indeed. So well done, Stu. Now, Can we get rid of the SU-100? He's over on the west side of the map. And we're suddenly now changed over. That's it. Looks like that SU-100 is trying to get out the way by moving as fast forward as he can. But he's engaged our Hellcat. And that's the end of him. But it wasn't us that got the kill. The Hellcat got the kill. Unfortunately, our shell damaged the Hellcat, or would have damaged him. So that we won't be getting a high caliber. But there's still enemy tanks out there. There's an AMX-13F3 and a Hellcat on the enemy team. And they've just lost their Hellcat. So it's just the Arty left. And more than likely, he's somewhere in that corner. So we're firing a blind shot in. And in fact, is that him? No, that's not him. Yes, he has been killed. He's just been killed. And that's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first class tanker for StuInTokyo in the SU-8. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this game. He got 5 exactly. His win rate was 2,222, all the twos, but that's just very good. But that's all he managed to get in the game. But he did get those blind shots, and they really did have a big effect on the outcome of the battle because it killed the tanks in the sniper's nest. If we look at the team score, we can see the highest damage in the game actually went to the FB304 on our team. He got 1,876 hit points, so he was very busy. Second highest damage was Stu. He got 1,700 hit points, so those hits to the sniper's nest, they must have been very, very effective indeed. And he got 1,293, went to the, oh, actually, it was the AMX-13F3 on the enemy team. So it's all the Artys who actually scored high in this game. And he got 1,426. I thought for a second he was the next one in line, but it wasn't. The VK got a steel wall in that game. When it came to kills, though, we can see that Stu didn't get any kills at all, but that didn't set him back because the top scorer was the Jagdpanzer or Flatpanzer, Jagdpanzer 4. He got 4 kills. 3 kills went to our FB304, the Burt, and 2 kills went to our Tiger 131 and the Hellcat on the enemy team. And he was the only one who managed to get 2 kills. And in fact, only 4 players on the enemy team managed to get kills at all in that game. So they were a bit overwhelmed. When it came to base XP, Stu's right at the top. All those blind hits must have done substantial damage. 927 went to Stu, 791 went to the Burt, and 757 went to that BK3001P. He fired only 11 shots in the game, got 8 direct hits on the enemy, and no penetrations. So yes, those shots weren't penetrating, but they're about 250 hit points per shot was coming off the enemy tanks, and he got 4 in a row. In fact, it actually looked like he got 5, but there were other hits that he got on the CDT, which, of course, were non-penetrating shots, but they did substantial damage. He got 11 splashes as well, so every shell seemed to do something, except, of course, the one that he fired at the T-52. 1,700 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 5 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, so missed out on the Confederate, but he did get 55 hit points of damage assistance and 1,407 hit points of stun assist off 10 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he made a profit of 53,423 credits for the day, including 30,000 for a mission completion event, 30 bonds for another mission completion, and 5,098 experience points on a ×5 day. So very good performance in that one. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that brief game. It was brief. In fact, if we look at the time, we can see that it only took 5 minutes and 37 seconds for that game to be over. And Alexa's trying to butt in and remind me to do something. Yeah, 5 minutes, 37 seconds. Very fast game indeed. Hope you enjoyed that one, and thank you for watching.